Hello, I'm Larry, and this is Carter's Country. I really wish sometimes they could film and record the conversations that go before she hits that button. Got Justin Carter with me here again today, and we're going to talk about personal defense, handguns, and we're going to go through some different categories here, compare the best sellers we have in that market, and kind of talk about what we like, what we don't like, which one we would pick. The first category is one you don't hear a lot talked about personal defense, and that's the .22 long rifle. Before all you internet experts roll your eyes, let me just ask you this. Would you want to get with a .22?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so it is a defense weapon in that regard. The two, I think, leaders in that for us, from what we've seen, is the SIG P322 and the Taurus TX22. Yep. Both are really fine guns. The SIG 20 round, Taurus was at 16. They've kind of upped their game now to a 22 round magazine. We talk about these two. There's a lot of similarities, a few differences.
Yeah. One of the other key differences between the P322 and the TX22 is the 322 is optic ready. Mm-hmm. The TX22 is not optic ready. Both are going to be coming. They both come threaded. The P322 comes with that fiber optic sight, which is kind of unique and different, and then your standard TX22 white dot sights for that. Right. The price point's going to be obviously a little bit different.
Of these two, I mean, you've got, do you want the features or do you want the price point? You've got a clear choice of this or this, and what matters most to you. If you're not interested in optic and you're not interested in the fiber sight, well, then you're going to go with the price point. If you do want an optic, if the fiber sight matters to you, then there you go. You've got two options. We have shot both of those guns. They both shoot well. They both cycle well. To your point, they're both threaded. 22 is a really fun round to suppress.
So for sure.
To me, I would be, if I opened a gift Christmas Day and it was one of these, would not matter to me at all that it wasn't the other one. Yeah. I would be thrilled with either one. Having said that, if I had to pick one, I think for me, the Taurus TX22 for me.
I was going to go the same way.
Yeah.
So.
And that's not in any way disparaging the SIG. Now the next one I'm going to get to is the 380 ACP caliber, known in Europe as the 9mm short. It's the same diameter as the 9mm, a little less powerful, less powder behind it. The two guns we're going to talk about here, this is actually the second generation of each of these. We've got the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. The Bodyguard came out years ago, wildly successful. Smith & Wesson's improved on that. We'll get to that in a second. The Ruger LCP Max, for the longest time, the Ruger LCP was the budget pocket pistol. You could not beat it in size or price. It was right there.
Literally on both.
On both. The guns they've come out with since, and we've done a video, I know we've done a video on one of these, maybe both.
Both.
The Bodyguard 2.0, of course, it's striker fired. You got 10 or 12 plus 1 round capacity, which is really amazing when you consider how thin that gun is. The MSRP on it, it's going to be comparable to the Ruger. It's a fantastic gun. It's my experience in shooting it, specifically with the 12-round mag, I could grip it with all four fingers on the handle, which is really unusual in a small 380. But that one I was able to do, really enhanced the shooting experience for me on that one. Really good all-around gun. When we live down here, it's 110 degrees and 99% humidity for like 4 months a year. A lot of times we're just going out in shorts with a little string tie to hold them in a t-shirt. That thing is light enough. You slip it in a pocket holster, throw it in your waistband. It will ride there all day. You'll forget it's even there.
Oh, no, and I think that was the joy of like the Ruger LCP originally when it first came out. Same concept, right?
Yeah.
The equivalent size of a modern day cell phone. When you put that in your pocket, nobody knows that you're carrying that gun at all. The only problem back then was it was a little jumpy, and the LCP Max now, when we got to shoot it at least, and it's been a little while, maybe a year or two since we got to shoot that gun, it was actually fit well in my hand, and we've talked about hand size is critical for that, but it also just fits better, feels better, and it shoots a lot smoother for me than the original.
Yeah, and they upped the capacity on it. It's in that same 10-12 neighborhood now.
Yeah.
Depending on which magazine you opt for. But yeah, both Ruger and Smith & Wesson kind of moved in parallel on their improvements. Round capacity, shooting experience, gripability. They kind of improved both guns in all the same categories.
I agree 100%.
So if you had to pick?
Okay, now if I had to pick, said the Echo from behind the camera. For me, it's the Bodyguard. I just fell in love with that thing when I shot it. I was really surprised by it, and that's, that for me, that the Bodyguard's the definite winner there. Not and on all of these, it's just an opinion. I'm not saying one's better than the other. For me, the personal shooting experience, I prefer the Bodyguard.
Well, and I think I would go with the Max for the reason that I did enjoy the original LCP so much, and I'm a huge proponent of it. That the Max was just, all the upgrades seemed very simplistic, but they were also so beneficial to the end of the game shooting experience. On the category is our, kind of our budget gun, and it's definitely a gun that you see on a lot of our Black Friday sales the past couple of years. All their MSRPs sit just around $300, give or take $10-15 across the board. First one is the Taurus GX2, Stoeger STR9, and the TSOS PX9. Relatively similar capacities. The only one that has bigger capacity is the TSOS PX9, which they have a 20-round magazine. So that's a pretty substantial jump up in direction. As far as your sights come, fairly standardized, basic white sights on all three of them. So the only differential, other than name and brand, is going to be fit, feel, and finish on all three of those guns.
Right.
There are obviously, again, with the PX9, you've got a couple different variations, but for the standard and where they sit price point, you're coming in at a solid gun. We've shot, I believe, all three of those guns in one of the videos. So if you wanted more information about any of those videos, go back and look at the channel, and you should be able to see most of those there. We've talked about all three of these guns extensively over the past couple of years, and all of them shoot pretty dang well.
Yeah,
I mean, for a few $100, as we call them here in Texas, a truck gun, that is the ideal truck gun that I've ever seen.
I think, being someone who's notoriously cheap, I hear y'all talking behind my back sometimes when I'm shopping in the store. It's a favorite category of mine. Okay, these are good.
Maybe it's the favorite category for your wife. When you're shopping,
right? Specific to my shopping, it's her favorite category. It's sure not with hers. But yeah, these guns they're reliable, they're affordable. They just hit the points that matter the most to me with a firearm. The Taurus GX2, we did the video on that one, and I remember how pleasantly surprised I was with the trigger on it. And it was just really incredible. The ergonomics of it, really a nice fit. Yeah. The Stoeger, I've owned Stoeger shotgun all the way back to 2005. Stoeger just makes sturdy, reliable, dependable firearms. That STR9 is a great value. Yeah. The TSOS, you've seen me in multiple videos talking about TSOS. The big fan of their 1911 line. The PX9, I think there's a couple things I would like to see them do with it, but what they give you right now for the price you get it at, I would take it in a heartbeat as my carry gun without any thought at all. So, favorite category of mine. If I had to pick one of these, I think I would go with the PX9.
I was going to go with the same one.
Yeah, the magazine capacity, the trigger. Again, though, with these, any one of them. Okay, next one is a category that's kind of forgotten for a lot of people. I don't know if it's because Hollywood doesn't put it in enough of their movies or what the deal is. It's still a favorite category of mine, and that's revolvers. There's just a lot of things. The simplicity and dependability of a revolver is just unbeatable. Now, one thing with revolvers, and I think this is just proving how markets drive prices, they're going to be a little bit more in some cases than the semi-automatics, just because not as many of them are made or sold. So you're just going to see a little bit more cost with them. The first one that we're going to talk about, the Kimber K6 XS, 2-inch barrel, concealed hammer, which concealed hammer is a big deal. It means it's not going to snag if you try to pull it out of a purse or a pocket. 6-shot, something in a concealed revolvers. Most of them have moved to a 5-shot. Kimber stayed with a 6-shot on that, and you've got a good size grip on it. You've got enough to really hold. Some of the smaller revolvers, the grip kind of shrinks a little bit. Still manageable, but maybe just not what you're used to. Not the Kimber. They kept a good beefy kind of grip on it while making it a concealable handgun. So that's one of the ones on here. 38 special caliber.
It shoots quite well too.
Yeah.
It's a very comfortable gun to shoot because of that steel frame, and that extra weight is going to be one of those things that maybe not a big issue on the range or in the glove compartment, but definitely one of those things to consider when you get to a carry position.
That's a great point. Yeah, it definitely is going to weigh more than the next two we're going to talk about. Yeah. Part of that being the next two we're going to talk about actually refers to their weight as part of their marketing strategy and how light they've made them. So kind of unfair to Kimber in that regard, but it's a fact.
The Smith & Wesson 642 Airweight's been around for I don't know how many years. I think the original one was called a Lady Smith, and I don't know that was so PC anymore. So
yeah.
And at the end of the day, that gun, it was built and maintained for smaller hands to carry in a glove compartment or a purse, or to carry. It was, specifically designed on the weight basis of just an aesthetic gun to work. I can't count on how many hands, no pun intended, the amount of people that bring in guns, revolvers from decades ago that they've never been fired, and they're like, can you test fire it? And it still works today.
Yeah, the Ruger LCR, again, this is one they kind of market and wave the flag about look how light this gun is, and it is. It's incredibly light. It's a 5-shot. It does it's kind of in the medium grip size range between the Kimber and the Airweight. I almost called it the Lady Smith. You brought that up in my mind.
I'm sorry. I'm probably going to get in trouble for that later, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. So the Ruger is kind of in between in the grip size, very light that leans towards the the Airweight in that regard. But again, all three of these are something. I don't care how experienced a shooter you are or anything else. I guarantee you, if you will stop and think about all the situations where you would carry a firearm, there is a place for a revolver in your rotation, without a doubt.
100%. Yeah. Situational awareness 101. It's the ideal gun. I personally have one in my vehicle. I've got the Smith & Wesson 642 Airweight, and there's a reason.
So you got the lady gun.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Sorry.
Wow.
We'll edit that out. Don't worry.
In pink.
Too excited about that.
In pink, though, Les. I don't know what part of that conversation y'all are going to keep on or not, but
yeah,
at the
but
end
you
of the
have
day,
an Airweight in your truck. So.
In my truck, I've got the Airweight, and I enjoy. And there's a reason for that, which is what we talked about, which is I don't need to take it out and grease it up every year. I don't need to worry if it's still functional. I don't need to deal with anything else. I just need to know that when I get into my truck, I know where it is, and if somebody else is in my truck, I can tell them where to go and I can find it.
Right.
That's all I want.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's all you can really ask for out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and revolvers, they serve their purpose. That's just the best way to put it.
That is the key.
Now, out of this group, why don't you go first? I've been going first, and I kind of feel like
I already went first. I got the 642 Airweight.
All
it's in the. It's already bought. It's in there.
Okay, for me, it's the Ruger LCR. And it again, and with pretty much every one of these, it hasn't had to do with functionality or in performance as much as it has had to do with fit, and the Ruger fits. And
I am surprised that is the most expensive of the three, and
the
our
MSRP,
previous conversation, but we'll go with that too. This is going to be the most varied category of guns that we're going to go over today, because I think it just is a model of the intense level of guns that we've got out there in the 9mm caliber.
Right, it's definitely the most crowded market, and as we talk about these, we're only going to really talk about the base model of each of these.
Yeah, there's 1,000
Some of these
have
model after model after model with so many different options. So
you know who you are, manufacturers. You know who you are.
So yeah, we're talking about the base model of each one of these. So if we say something about one of these, I don't go, nuh-uh, because this model of that. Yeah, we know. We've got it in the store. We are aware.
Come and get it.
We're talking about the basic models of them. Okay, so I just had to get that off my chest.
That's fair enough.
Okay, thank you.
Let's start off with a SIG P365. Mm-hmm. That's a big one that has a lot of different variances that you can come in and see in the store. Solid price point right in the middle of all those guns for sure.
Yeah.
They've got the 10 to 21 round magazine options. They come optic ready. Some of them, they've got night sights. You've got a standard micro size barrel on it. So definitely in that realm of a carryable weapon if you so choose. The Springfield Hellcat, basically a not a clone of but similar aspect of it.
The next one on there, the Shield Plus, Smith & Wesson, kind of like they did with the Bodyguard 2. They had the Shield forever. One of the first really slim carry guns. It was kind of set the standard in the carry market for how slim of a gun they made. It's not optic ready. It is an option. It may not be the newest, sexiest thing out there, but if you can't get a more solid carry option than a Shield Plus.
For sure.
Okay, next on the list, the Canik MC9. The MSRP is going to be very competitive with these others. Actually, it's probably best in class on these that we're talking about. A very reliable, affordable handgun.
The last two guns on the list are Kimber Micro 9 is going to be a standard single stack 9mm versus the Glock 43X, which you have kind of a varied single stack scenario.
Kind of an offset.
Both the Micro 9 is going to be as close to a pocket 9mm that you could find in that scenario. They shoot really well. Aesthetically, you've got a handful of different options from pearl grips to different colors, stainless, high chrome stainless appeal. The Glock 43X, again, it's a Glock, it's standard.
It works.
It's there.
It's like anything Glock. Aftermarket options for it blow away every other brand.
The Legos of the industry.
Yeah, so it's we may not be as flashy when we talk about it, but it's not as flashy. They don't try to be as flashy. They stay in their lane and they own it.
Yeah,
and it's a great gun.
Again, to reiterate, we could go into each of these very deeply because they've all got a ton of different options. They've got a ton of different solutions, and they have all got some unique capacity for each of them. No pun intended. One more quick thing. The only two that come standard optic cut are going to be the SIG and the Canik. As far as that goes, they're also going to have the same higher capacity. I think that we've done a lot of information on all these guns at some varying degree over the past couple of years. Personally, the 43Xs would be my option.
Okay. For me, and I've got to put a little asterisk with it, it's the SIG 365. That's the gun my wife carries. I have one of those many variables of the 365 is my everyday carry right now. So that would be the one. But again, not counting anything negative on any of these others, that's just my preference. Of these guns, I would feel just as comfortable taking any one of these other guns as my everyday carry.
True.
So,
I would 100% agree.
Yeah. So on the ones we agreed on, I think you were right. The ones we disagreed on, you just haven't read enough and don't know enough yet.
We haven't studied it up enough, have we?
Yeah, you clearly haven't studied enough if you disagree with me.
I'll do some more shooting and some more.
Because this isn't at all subjective. It's an absolute right or wrong answers. And remember, if you've ever shot, or hunted with us, you're already a part of the Carter's Country family. But you might not be if you disagree with Justin. Just remember that. Anyway, till next time, adios.
No. There's a bunch of... The world is full of idiots.
There's cretins out there, thick-skulled, knuckle-dragging Neanderthals, and we don't have time to explain the world to them. I started working, actually, I was like 14 years old working at a Baskin-Robbins at a mall. The guy paid us cash. That's how he got around us being too young to work, paid us cash and everything. But this now, this has been the only job. It had not happened before. I have now had my paycheck threatened at every job throughout my entire lifetime. So thank you for closing that circle for me.